Welcome back to Grab a Drink with me
Marisol.
and Eliana.
Hi, everybody. We are back and we are going to start with our little drinky drink. Again, I'm going with a pink drink, um, but I'm just doing something a little basic, a little champs here with my dragon fruit pink because, well, I like pink. So a little fun drink, something basic, but good. What are you drinking?
Sorry, I have my dog here and
Okay.
he's going to. I am actually taking a break from an adult beverage because over the weekend and stuff, with the rain coming in and out, I've been having a lot of allergies and stirring up. So I'm drinking a little bit of chamomile tea with some honey. So yeah,
Yum.
it's good. And it's actually helping. So
Oh, good.
yeah.
I've been kind of giving that to the kids too because they've had all that junk going on also. Of course, on the dog.
Well,
And it is really like I just poured it, not like I've been sitting here drinking. And for those that cannot see, I just spilled some of my drink. That's okay. So, cheers from a distance. We are at our own location, got school, work, a lot going on, but we're still getting together so that we can talk about a little stuff going on.
yes.
All right. So you want to start with a little weekly rewind? Tell me how your week was.
My week was pretty busy. I know we tried to get together a couple times, but
Yeah.
just literally busy with either my son, work, or trying to even see my grandparents. I got to see my grandparents this
Oh,
past
good.
week. Yeah, Grandpa definitely makes it known, like, hey, you're coming by, and so I try to go there weekly and see them, but it may have to be every other week, just depending, just because work is a little crazy right now. But we had a pretty chill weekend. We were able to relax on Saturday mostly. I would say I got a lot of laundry done.
Oh,
Um,
good.
but it's funny because we went to my mom's today after work, and my son was like, he was telling me, so we were talking about laundry. I don't know how we got on that topic, but he basically called me out and he told my mom, like, she hasn't washed my laundry, but she's washing the other loads. And I was like, wow, way to call me out. I was like, honestly, he has a number of socks, a number of chons, a number of shirts, a number of shorts. It's just
He's good.
go and actually get those items. He goes and gets what's easiest to see. And I'm like, if you open your drawer, you're gonna see a mountain of, chons. You're gonna see a mountain of rolled up socks that I've done. And I
Right.
told her I typically will put his clothes in our hampers. So I am washing his stuff, but I'm not necessarily grabbing the hamper out of his room and washing it. So I told him, I was like, I do need to go through your hamper and wash it so that it gets done. But
Yeah.
Saturday we chilled out. It's funny because we've gone to a couple of Spirit Halloween stores.
Oh, okay.
I'm not gonna lie, it's fun. Like I know I said in previous episodes, like I don't like to go to those things before it's actually happening.
Right.
But I like Halloween, like him getting older and being more interested in dressing up because he was never really one to like want to dress up.
Oh,
So
okay.
wanting to do it. So now we're looking like costumes that we want to wear and then what we want to do as a family. So that's
Yeah.
fun. But on Sunday, we actually went to the Hot Wheels Monster Truck Show came to San Antonio, their last stop in Texas.
Oh,
And
how fun.
Noel's friend reached out to him and was like, hey, do you want to go? Like, do you have your son? And he was like, yeah, like I've got him. So they sent us tickets and everything. And Mijo had a blast. I have videos of him
Oh, that's awesome.
so engaged with the show and just having a ton of fun. So I'll have to share those pictures. But a lot
Ah,
of fun this weekend. Either it was really relaxed or just like that show. But a lot of that too, like the monster trucks and stuff, like they were burning their tires and stuff. So the smokes
oh,
that got me got me a little congested,
yeah.
a little draining. So that's why I'm drinking my chamomile. But I mean, I had a pretty good weekend. How about
That's
you?
good. It was tied up with football. We had his first scrimmage last week on Thursdays, so that was good. And we were kind of nervous about it because it was the first time. Excuse me. We got there, and some of the boys were pretty big.
Yeah.
and my little one is on the line. Um, and so
Really?
those boys were big, and they did fifth and sixth grade. And Blake's in fifth, but these sixth graders, I mean, even the boys were like, Mom, they're big. Like some of them
Really?
look like they could have passed for like freshmen. They were big. And we're
Goodness.
like, okay, let's hope he doesn't get him. Well, he did, but he held his own. I mean, he didn't get pancaked or anything, so that was good. It was he had fun, so that was good. And then again, the actual first game Saturday, so that was good. They won. They did really well. He was excited. He had a lot of fun. The boys all did, and that was a long day. We left the house, I want to say 12:30ish. We
Mm-hmm.
didn't get home till almost 6. Then we needed to eat because we were starving. So his friends were texting. One of the moms was texting asking if he could come swim, barbecue, and spend the night. Well, he's not a spend the nighter. So he looked at me and he's like, I'm not spending the night. I said, okay, do you want to go? And he's like, well, let's see after I eat. So we went, of course, in 2 cars, but he had fallen asleep on the way home. And then he got here and he was, how they get kind of moody
Yeah.
um, when they kind of have to wake up. They're tired. So then we went and ate. By the time we got home, I mean, it went by
Yes.
fast. It was probably like 8 o'clock, and we were just tired. It was so hot. But then Sunday we needed to kind of catch up, grocery shop, and just
Mm.
kept going. I was tired last night. So it was good though. We're excited, and they got practice a couple times this week. It's going to be indoors because they said the weather's supposed to be bad again. So we'll do that. They don't practice this weekend or play this weekend because we got Labor Day weekend. But we do have so we have a little bit of a break, and then the following week we'll play again on Saturday. So we'll see. So it's just kind of tied up with football and a lot of running around. That's pretty much what it is, which is okay.
I
Um,
bet.
but yeah, so I knew, well, I kind of talked a little bit before that I was going to miss the football, but I'm excited that we've gotten to watch, and the boys get to watch him now.
Yeah. I mean, that's super exciting. I know Mijo was like, when he starts playing, I definitely want to go see a game. And I was like, we need to find out the schedule so we can go see.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm personally ready for that next step because Mijo's 8. And I feel like in the next years to come, that's definitely a huge step for him to take.
Yeah.
I'm for it because it builds confidence, it builds, independence for him. It just there's a lot of skills that come along with it as an individual
Yes.
for him. I'm just like, yes, he needs that. But I don't know if I'm ready for the actual sport because it's very demanding and it's very structured and he likes, he likes the idea of it, but I don't think he fully understands this is what's going to happen.
Well,
So
and I will tell you, these coaches are intense. Ours is probably the most laid back, and they're really not laid back. One of
yeah,
the team that they played for scrimmage, oh man, like they played the scrimmage and they were practicing after, and I thought these boys have got to be tired. The game that we played Saturday, the other coaches were yelling, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like they're little. Like, why are you yelling at them like they're in high school, like college? Something. It was a lot. So, I mean, it's gonna help along the way, but I'm like, oh man, it takes a little bit, and when they
yeah,
get that first good hit, because Blake has gotten a good hit where it knocked the wind out of him, and it's hard to not just want to go and hug them and be
right.
like, it's okay. And I had that day, I had gone by myself, and they're like, Mom, you got to tell them it's okay. It's part of it. Suck it up, pat them on the head, and go. And I'm like,
Yeah,
okay. So,
yeah.
but I think it helps. So we'll
Well,
see.
I don't
Yeah.
know what the future will hold, but I know that's something that he's definitely mentioned. And since he's seen Blake,
Yeah.
getting really involved with it, he's like, I really want to look into that. And I'm like, okay, maybe we'll start.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So social media updates, I guess celebrity
Oh my God. There
updates.
was a lot.
Yeah. Well, a couple of things since since it's Monday and we've kind of not been able to meet during the week and everything. There was a couple of things that kind of were brought up, and I was like, oh my god, like this would be great to talk about. One definitely for sure, J Lo is married. I remember
Yes.
J Lo is married.
Yes.
Like I did I think she was not going to go through it? No, I didn't think she was going to go through it. I feel like she's like the runaway bride. In my head,
She
I'm
is.
engaged and just not follow through. And for whatever reason, personal
Yeah.
reasons or whatever. But I was actually happy to see that, she actually went through and of course with Ben and everything. So that was really good to see.
Yeah. I really thought she was gonna marry A-Rod.
Yeah.
I just thought they were really good together, but I
Me
mean, like you
too.
say, I mean, apparently there's stuff that goes on that we don't get to see. So
Yeah.
yeah. Talking about that, Leah Messner from Teen Mom is engaged. It was so cute. The ring is beautiful, and then he bought the girls' rings also.
I
Yeah,
saw
so
that was
that
precious.
was really cute. Yeah, I'm excited for her. I'm glad that she finally found somebody, and maybe I'm hoping that she goes through with it and gets married, and
I hope
this
she
is her happily ever after.
I hope she doesn't get cold feet because I feel like at least watching her, I don't remember if it was her season or that vacation one that they did, but she was just like she was for the relationship, but she wasn't necessarily for the marriage idea. And I mean, I
I
can, I can see that, when you go through certain things in life that don't happen in the order that, you would like them to happen, or
right,
growing up, know how the order of things happen, you kind of get discouraged and you're like, well, that's not really in the cards for me. And for her being divorced twice, it was something that was, I think, she expressed it was a lot of trauma. There was a lot of trauma
right,
around. So to see her accept that somebody is coming into her life that loves her, somebody that is trying to, be by her side as well as her kids. And he was
mm-hmm,
very good with the kids and built that connection with them, like that. For
right,
me, that's what it's all about. If you have a kid and you have um somebody coming into your life, that is the number one way to see, well, not number one, but it's for me
one important, yeah,
to see, okay, this person really is in it for me, but for my child. Like that's
right,
huge to me, to see somebody come in and not necessarily fill those shoes, but just want to be a part of like what they're coming into, not just, the woman's life, but the child's life, and,
yep,
take a role in their own. They don't have to replace roles, but just taking a role on their own. I thought, to me, that stuck out. And so for him to do
yeah,
that with the rings for the girls and everything, and he made that a moment because he knew how
yeah.
special it would be for them. It just shows that, hopefully, I really hope she does get married
I
and
do
follow through.
too.
A really like kind of fairy tale ending that she gets to actually have that moment and actually have the marriage that, she's in a really good place. So I'm really
Yes,
crossing fingers over here for that.
me too. I do think also that she's probably gonna have a baby with him.
If they do, I'll love
Yes,
that. That'll be
I do
such
think so. I think so, yeah. What else? Oh, and then flip side, Sylvester Stallone and his wife filed for divorce 25 years
no
later.
way. What
Yeah.
is that?
Yes, they just had their 25th anniversary not too long ago, and then I can't even honestly tell you. I want to say it's her that filed for divorce, but this is his third or fourth marriage. And he stays in them for a good amount of time, and
Yeah.
then I don't know what happens, but I want to say that he yesterday, day before, one of the days, it was one of the daughter's birthdays, and he posted family pictures and stuff. So maybe they're amicably splitting. I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
What best interest for the children, right?
Yes.
Yeah. What is it? Cordial with one another. You don't
Yeah.
have to, but for the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well,
Um. What
I,
else?
I was gonna say, I don't know if you saw the VMAs yesterday. I caught a glimpse of it. I
Yeah.
feel like
Pieces.
right now, the VMAs were like, yeah, and I just couldn't get into it. But what I did see, I don't know if you've heard of this performer. I think I could be butchering it and saying it completely wrong, but Young Gravy.
Oh,
I don't know who this kid is.
I don't
I'm
either.
not a fan.
Yeah.
I don't know the purpose of the name. I'm probably going to do some research and try to find out, okay, how did he come to be, for one?
Right.
Um his performance that I saw during the show, I wasn't really a fan of. And I remember telling Noelle, I was like, what, this kid, like, who is this? Like, I don't
Yeah.
even like. So
Yeah.
this is my personal thought, though. I mean, other people could obviously like him, but me personally, no. And then I saw a couple of outfits out there that I was like, wow, are
Yeah.
you're really coming to have a moment? Have,
Yeah.
little Nas for one.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Just, I have no
There's
words for
nothing to say. Yeah, it's just like,
what was
okay.
the idea for that. I no
I
idea.
no idea.
Lizzo, girl, Lizzo,
Oh,
make a statement, but
she always
don't
does.
do it. Do not. It's. I mean, what was the material for one? What was
Right.
the idea? Just kind of falling over her and just puffing out. There's better
Right.
ways to do it. And she's such, like, I personally think she's such a good, like, not a good, I don't want to say not a
Like
good person.
body positive.
Yes, just like she's putting
Yeah.
it out there. Bigger girl, I've got my curves, I've got, my body. This is what it is. Love me or hate me. And I'm like, I'm loving it. I'm loving the
Yeah.
music. I'm loving you. I'm not loving that outfit. No. There's nothing about that outfit
Yeah. It was
that doesn't look
like,
better.
I don't know. It just reminded me of just old curtains.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all I could think of, those big puffy curtains and those rich homes. And I don't know, it was just like, oh, really?
It didn't do it
Yeah.
for me. But what
No.
did do it for me is artist of the year was Bad Bunny.
Oh, that yes, yes.
Yes. Which, by the way, in like, I think it's either the 7th or the 8th, I got confirmation. Noel told me we're going to go see Bad Bunny this month. And I was like, oh, we are. So,
Yay.
he did tell me, though, that a little spoiler about, I guess
Okay.
I don't know, I don't think he attended the VMAs. He actually had a
Uh-huh.
show and sold out and everything. But he said that if I had seen like memes going on, and postings on social media about his performance, because apparently he decided to rock both teams and kiss a girl and a guy in his performance,
No.
right? And he was like, see it, and I was like, well, I do, but, and he was like, well, but it's a part of like the show we're gonna go see, and I was like, I don't, because then it's gonna spoil it.
But is it part of the show?
Well, is it part of the show I'm gonna go to? Is that gonna happen again, or was that just because he won? Like, I don't know. It was it celebration
Yeah,
or
I
was it?
didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know, but either way, I was like, I don't want to watch it because I do not want to spoil. I want to be present for this performance. I don't want to
Yeah.
see of it. So
Well,
I
and
mean,
if it doesn't happen, I'm sure you can find it just to watch
oh
it. If it doesn't
yeah,
happen, it yeah, you'll have to
I'll,
tell us follow up.
I'll have to watch it after. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
that was
Taylor Swift announced she's got that album coming out.
yes,
I want to say October. So for all the Swifties out there,
yeah.
we'll see. I mean, I like her stuff, then I don't like her stuff, and it's kind of, I don't know, it's hit and miss for me. There's a couple songs that I really like, but that it's all the same. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
It reminds
but
me of like a Kelly Clarkson, and that's because I actually like Kelly Clarkson
yeah,
for a minute. I like her for a minute. Taylor Swift, I mean, the only song that I genuinely remember was like that 22 something like that.
yeah,
And it's a coworker of mine. She was turning 22 that year when it came out, I think. And she was singing it. So it was just like, yeah, like a in the moment, but other than that, like I just can't vibe with her music. I've tried.
yeah,
I've tried on several occasions. I just can't do it.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so that was good. I mean, I want to say I saw DJ Khaled with oh man, I don't even remember. It was a girl. She was wearing lime, and they kind of went back and forth. And he had his
Mhm.
lime shoes on and stuff. So they kind of went back and forth a little bit. But talking about him, his new album, have you heard it? That came out, I want to say Friday. God did. Uh,
I might not have.
yeah, I've been listening to. I really like it. There's some stuff that I'm like, okay, but I did like most of it.
Yeah.
Um, I did like the Eminem and Yee song that was on there.
I'm
Of
gonna
course, it
check it
goes, yeah. Noah liked Juice World that was on there because he had
out.
a piece in there. I mean, there's so many, like
Yeah.
the amount of artists that are in there. But I was telling maybe my sister because I was talking, asking her if she had listened to it. She's like, "Oh yes, I like it." But we were talking about how you cannot be yelling God did, but talking about tits and
I
ass pretty much.
I
You
grew
you can't. I'm like, that's like, no, you can't be doing that, be
yeah.
talking about that and that God did. No. That just,
Yeah.
yeah, no. But I did like it. So if you get a chance, you'll need to go in and
Yes.
listen to that.
Oh,
Yes. Nick Cannon, number 9. I don't, I'm like, really? Like, I don't get it, and I don't understand. They continue to want to have his kids.
no,
And
the
it's
f- was never ending. That was in itself. It's like the number of kids he has, and God, don't strike me for saying that. But it was just shoot after shoot out, and I'm like, how many poses can you take of the same people? Like,
right.
how? What's the purpose of that? But it's like the number of kids he has. It's. I mean, are we going for like a world record here or something? I don't get it.
Yeah.
Too
I don't
many.
understand either. And I had seen those memes about, with the formula shortage. I don't know if there still is, but they were joking how, well, if you're looking for formula, ask Nick Cannon. And it's like, well, for real, because
Yeah.
that's a lot of kids. But I mean, I guess if you
Yeah.
can. Um, okay, so one I was going to tell you. So, I always tell you that I watched that 90 Day Fiance on TLC. A couple weeks ago, they had the reunions. They finished at the end of one of the reunions. They talked to this couple, and Mohammed and Eve. He's from Egypt. At the end of the tell all, she comes back and talks about how she had seen messages where he was talking to these women, and one in particular, I guess she was also married, but he was talking to her for a while. He ended up saying, telling her, I'm not talking to you anymore, whatever. Then, like for a week straight, it's it's almost like these people because you get so invested for a
Yeah.
season, and then they post a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
But she had gotten arrested for domestic violence, and that was a thing, and I was like, oh, I don't think so, because she seems pretty laid back. I don't think so. And then an audio comes out, so apparently he had been recording her,
What?
and she is like yelling at him, and the way she was yelling at him, I told Rico, I'm like, she had to have hit him, because there
Oh,
was a piece in there that he's
what?
like, if he, and he's, the way he talks, you have to listen to it, and I'll have to do something to kind of post it. But there, he talks about, if you hit me again or if you touch me again, it won't be good for you and stuff. So I thought, oh man. So then on another day, he had moved out, and then
Yeah.
he's living with friends, and so she's she's a, oh man, she's some sort of doctor of some sort. So I'm thinking that's probably not good what you did, because you're the sole provider for you and your son. And what are you going to do if they, take your license, or nobody wants to go see you? I don't know. I think it's a huge mess. She came out and said, no, I never hit him. I never touched him. And I never was arrested. But of course, TLC or TMZ and all that, they go and they look at the records and find it and all that. Um, so who knows? That was, I thought, very interesting, because I feel bad for these people come over from another country, and a lot of times I don't think they get treated right, and I feel like they the Americans treat them like, well, you have to do what I say, and we're going to treat you a certain way, and you have to take it. And I don't think that's right. So these people are almost like catfished, because do all sorts of stuff for
Yeah.
them and it's going to be great. They bring them over, treat them terrible, or oh, this really isn't the house that I was telling you. I had to move, or this is not the car that I, really drive, or I
Hmm.
really don't have money and now we're living in a box. And like, I feel bad for some of these people, but we'll see. And a new season started of Ever After, and that's been kind of good. We watched it last night, so that was
Yeah.
interesting. And then we'll see The Single Life, I think, which to me it's the same dang people. Like, you still can't find anybody, and you're on this dang show.
Yes, version of the show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, no. So,
Yeah.
but that's it. That was, oh, and then Scott Disick got into an accident in his Lamborghini, but I didn't really see a whole lot other than he was by himself and in his neighborhood, I think. That was
Yeah.
it.
I
Yeah.
didn't really anything about that. So,
Mhm.
well, that's our little celebrity update.
Yeah, that was a lot.
It felt like,
Um, Go ahead.
oh no,
It
I
was,
said it.
yeah, no, yeah, it was a lot. What I wanted to tell you was that I had read that they were bringing back corporal punishment in some schools, and in Missouri, they were bringing that back. So, with you having a little one and, being around him and other kids or whatever, what do you think about that?
So see, don't touch my kid. That's what I think about it.
Oh,
But honestly, like Mijo, he's not. It's funny you say that because he has this year is a different year for him, and I've seen the start of second grade for him, and it was very hard. It was very hard because he was in a place where he felt uncomfortable. He didn't feel confident. Turned out we ended up finding out he had anxiety and he was going to the nurse all the time. And I mentioned that previously.
yeah,
This year, that last year was a female teacher, and nothing to say against, but that's just how he felt. It didn't sit right with him, and he
yeah,
really, it was hard. This year, I requested a male teacher because I heard for the dual language teachers, it was two. There was going to be two male teachers. One was a little more stern, and the other
yeah,
one was friendly, but would kind of get on the kids and stuff. And so I kind of inquired about it, and I was like, I reached out to one of the teachers that I know there, and was like, hey, I really need help with like if you can give me some insight
yeah,
of what is it going to look like for one a testing year for him, two what is it going to look like as far as the teachers that he's going to have, which route should I go. And
yeah,
she was like, hey, this teacher, he's stern, but he also motivates them. He pushes them. He doesn't let them slack off. And I'm like, oh, that's what Mijo needs. Like he needs
right.
somebody that's just comfortable. And him starting this year, I kid you not, like last week was his first week, I think, yeah. And every single day came home saying something good, something positive.
Good.
And then but then he was like, oh, but so and so, they got in trouble and my teacher yelled at them. And I was like, well, is it like a yell or is it like a man, sturdy, strong
Raising
voice?
his voice.
Yeah. And he's like, oh no, it's like, a strong, sturdy voice, not like I'm yelling at you, getting after you,
Yeah.
you're gonna get it kind of thing. And so I was like, that's good. That's what you need. I mean, you were kind of fearful over the summer because I was like, I'm gonna get you a good teacher. Um,
Yeah.
end up seeing it's somebody that's gonna push you. It's somebody that's gonna motivate you. It's somebody that's not gonna let you like I don't I had a really hard time last year because I was like, I cannot send you to school and be your teacher for you. You're in somebody else's care, and that's their job. They need
Right.
to, and they don't need to hold your hand through it, but they need to constantly challenge you. They need to constantly make you want to do better and be better.
Yeah.
So for me, wanting and requesting a male teacher was something different. Now, if it was something where you're putting your hands or,
Right.
with a paddle or whatever type of, I mean, back in the day, obviously it was different then, and that's the way they would correct behaviors.
Yes.
That's not an effective way. All you're doing is, kind of slapping on a band aid on something that's never truly healing, never
Right.
truly getting better. So to me, that's not I don't see that as effective. I'm very interested to see how this is going to play out because I have a feeling that you're going to have a lot of people upset about that. But as far as like Mijo, like he's one of the ones that just won't test it either. He will not get to that point to where you have to,
Yes.
handle them that way. He's never been sent to the principal's office. He never
Right.
probably, knock on wood, but
Yeah.
the same time, he's just that's not the type of kid he is.
Yeah.
But for those that are out there that are like that, that'll push the buttons, though, try to test their teachers. I don't think
Yeah.
that's okay for them either. I mean, they're
Right.
children taught. They need to be showed what's a good choice, what's a not so good choice, and how to make it a good choice. So
Yeah.
that's me. That's where I see it as a parent. Don't put your hands on my kid. We
Right.
won't, basically,
Yeah.
because if you, we're gonna have problems, and it won't be good. But at the same time,
Yeah.
it's you're in that position to teach. You kind of have to teach them social emotional skills too. You have to teach them what are correct ways to act, what's expected, and then what happens when they cross those lines. What are the
Right.
consequences? Huge topic in itself. Consequences for kids. There's not a lot out there, and there's not a lot of
Right.
parents that go through with consequences. So now you have all
I
these
agree.
behaviors going into systems that can't be controlled. And so sometimes the teachers are for some children having to be the parent and the teacher, and it's hard. I can
It's
imagine it's hard.
hard. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
definitely. I think I mean I'm on the same thing, but Blake is the same way. He I love going to hear what the teachers say because it's always, oh, he's such a good student. We love him. We love him. And so for him, he gets, what is it called? When you kind of give him that reassurance and praise and all that, he's going to do really well. He will also share with us, yes, and he'll also share with us, hey, this teacher's not being very helpful. I know last year he had one, but she was a substitute teacher because there was a teacher who was having a baby. So she was in there for a good while, but he would say he didn't feel comfortable asking questions because she would make him feel dumb. And so,
Yeah.
but then at home, it's the no question is dumb and you need to raise your hand if you don't understand because to your point they're there to teach you. So when he started to say that, I'm like, okay, well, you need to tell your homeroom teacher because since last year they alternate classes. So
Mm-hmm.
fourth and fifth start alternating, and I would tell your homeroom teacher, and he's like, okay. And then I had gone up there for something, and I had asked her, hey, has he talked to you about that? And she says, yeah. She goes, so I told him that I would talk to her, and I said, okay, because he's still coming back telling me it's the same thing. Well, it finally changed because she goes, I don't understand because he's a really good student. He does what he's supposed to. He raises his hand here, and he doesn't seem like he's scared to ask. And I said, well,
Yeah.
apparently in that class she makes him feel like that. So it finally got fixed. This year he hasn't really said a whole lot. He likes to do things like he does patrols and all that. So I don't see that we would get there,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't want to get there because that would be really bad because you don't know, is it a male, is it a female, how hard are they hitting him, are they having a bad day and they're taking it out. It's just a lot for it. So I think it's that's going to be a lot that's going to come back to the schools and all that, and it's a big liability. I mean, I
Yeah.
know I had one spanking, paddling, whatever you want to call it, when I want to say first or second grade. And I don't even know why they allowed it, but they did. And I just remember them having this big wooden paddle hanging in there. But I was also one that would test it. So, and it happened. So yeah.
That makes me think of last week. I can't remember on what news broadcast I saw it, or if it was on Facebook or something. But
Yeah.
I don't know where it was. I really want to go back and see where it was, but it caught my attention because I was like, oh no, like I was feeling heated from watching that video. But it was a special needs child getting off their school bus to go to a daycare, and
Mm-hmm.
the people that worked at the daycare, this lady came on the bus and already going at the girl. Well, the girl was nonverbal. She's special needs, and she's
Oh,
a 13-year-old, I think it was. And she literally, like, she's nonverbal. You're throwing your hands in close in proximity, maybe not in her face, but close proximity,
yeah.
and at her. the little girl's gonna do the same. She's gonna, give what you put out. So she went to go to the lady, and the lady slapped her. And I was, what? Not only that,
Wow.
her to the stairs of the bus and pulls her by her feet down the. I know. And then on top of that, the girl doesn't have shoes, and she has her walk on the pavement to the doors
Oh,
of the daycare. I'm pretty sure it was a daycare. That I was like, that is not good, because one, you don't treat a human being like that.
right.
Somebody was like, if you don't have the patience for it, do not do it.
You
There's no
shouldn't be there. Yep.
with somebody that needs patience, because they should not be treated like that. And then I think the parent had commented on something. So hopefully that something will be done about that. But I'm just, even to those
That's
situations,
terrible.
mishandling, children, just because you either don't have the patience, you don't want to have the time for that. Those things just really get under my skin. But
That's
it makes,
terrible.
like, there's a lot of people in that profession that just shouldn't be in childcare, teaching,
Agree.
just things in general.
Yeah.
So to see what comes of that story and kind of follow up with that. But I don't know about the
Yeah.
corporal punishment. I am really interested to see about that, because that is just, that's taking it to another level. And if you're trying to
It
take it
is.
back to old days, and you know kind of implement that, where this is the wanted behavior versus a not wanted, and this is what's going to happen if you don't give the correct type of behavior, that's not it's not helping anybody.
Right. No, I agree. I'm curious to see as the school progresses, school season progresses, what comes of it, because I'm sure we're going to end up seeing a lot on the news, and
Yeah.
it's going to be a big deal. I'm thinking it is. So, I don't know. We'll see. But I was thinking that maybe before we close out, we can do a little shout out to one of our Instagram people that we follow. Share a little bit about them. The one that I wanted to do today was called Low Carb Love. And she's got so many followers, so no telling how many people that are listening probably already follow her. But for those that don't, she does a lot of low carb meals. She's lost a lot of weight, and she's had surgery to kind of get rid of excess skin and so forth. But in addition, she's also in a relationship with the age, it's big age gap. So
Mhm.
they're super, super cool people. She's got a daughter, and she's gonna get married. I want to say it's this year, next year, something like that. So Low Carb Love is her Instagram handle.
Yes. So I also wanted to give a little shout out. I have a friend with a fiance that is starting up a new page, and it's called Cheat Day is SA, and he just kind of goes around to local places here, to make your worthwhile. If you want to get some good food, good environment, good fun. So he does TikTok videos of that, and I'll have to post his handle and everything.
Yeah,
So you can follow that, so you can see what he's got going around SA that he checks out. So that's Cheat Day is SA.
that's cool. I'd like to. I'm definitely gonna have to go in there and take a look at that one. But um, if there's any maybe Instagram followers that we need to kind of go check out, or stuff that you guys like, definitely let us know so that we can see what else is out there. Because I know last week we shared some of the things that we like to follow, but as I went through my Instagram, I follow a lot of people for different reasons, but I go back to some of them. Some of it was recipes and stuff, but
Yeah.
anyways, so that's going to be it for our podcast this week. And we hope that you guys like, share, subscribe, whatever that whole thing is. Keep listening to us, and then let us know if y'all have anything that you want us to talk about.
Yep.
All right. We'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.